Greetings, greetings of peace and love. Welcome to Miracles with a Twist Conversations. I'm Reverend Lori Cardona. I'm here with Reverend Lisa Benton, or Goddi Lisa, to dig deep and unpack issues related to A Course in Miracles, and very specifically, issues that were raised and questions around the discussion that we had on Thursday evening, which is when we have a live stream on Facebook called Miracles with a Twist. And so we follow it up with this conversation. And we do that from an interfaith perspective and from an everyday spirituality perspective as well. Mm-hmm. And so we want to join with you in spiritual community as we walk on this very sacred path together and dig deep within ourselves. So let's begin by uniting with breath. Nice deep breath. And as we exhale, we bring our hands to our heart. When you press in a little bit, you feel your heartbeat, knowing that you share this heartbeat with every other brother and sister who walks beside you, before you, after you. We're all walking each other home, as it's been said. So today we give thanks for this opportunity to be together, to listen deeply, to feel deeply, to expand our hearts and our minds. We pray for all our brothers and sisters who are struggling today, knowing that perhaps by sending out some love and compassion, that somewhere within them they'll feel it and they'll know that they deserve peace today. And so we pray to be instruments of that peace today and every day. So another nice deep breath together. We exhale into the moment. Hello, Goddi Lisa.
Hello, RevLo. So nice to see you, as always.
So nice to see you. I'm looking forward to your introduction into today's theme.
Okay. Well, first I'd like to say we're going to talk about chapter 19, which is chapter 19 of the text, and it's a very long, very intense, unlike other chapters in the book that aren't intense. But no, it's long. It's got a lot of stuff in it. And we're going to talk about obstacles to peace. And I can't stress enough, and I've been thinking about this the past few weeks, I always forget to say it, as a spin-off of Miracles with a Twist. If anyone or ones are watching and our conversations and haven't seen what went on Thursday, please go to our YouTube channel or to Miracles with a Twist Facebook, not our YouTube channel, the Lori Cardona. Is it Reverend?
It's Rev Cardona. Yeah, there's lots of Lori Cardonas in the world, so I added Rev on there so to distinguish from the others. So it's Rev Lori Cardona is my YouTube channel, which has the Miracles with a Twist playlist. Thank you for that. Yes.
Right. And so it's really important. I think it's not essential, but it certainly will enhance anything you and I talk about. And I'm hoping that it will create thoughts and questions and comments in those who are listening. So I just wanted to point that out. And like I said, I keep forgetting, but it's important because we are after the fact and we do talk about what we talked about. And I don't think it's a good idea to for me to keep repeating what you've already said, unless of course it's something I want to instill or like that. But so that's why keep me from boring anybody by repeating what you said. If everybody just kind of looks at it, I think they'll be really enjoy both more.
Well, thanks. And the other thing we can do, and we started to do it, and somehow it fell off the planning sessions schedule, but I need to remember to add the Miracles with live stream over to the conversations page so that people have the option, if they haven't been to the Miracles with the Twist page, that live stream will already be archived on our conversations page.
Great. So we got that little housekeeping done.
Yeah.
So that's good. So now we will move on to the obstacles to peace.
Yes.
And this is another reason why people should watch Miracles with a Twist, is that you gave us a lot of beautiful quotes and beautiful comparisons between Buddhism and Course in Miracles, and it's just beautiful things that fell into obstacles to peace. So what I gained with such clarity, and it's interesting because I'm not sure if you mentioned the full moon ceremony last night that you held, or whether I was thinking about it, but you spoke of getting rid of everything that, kind of is tripping us up and blocking our paths to peace, our obstacles to peace. And you mentioned the full moon ceremony. You didn't introduce it for last night, but you mentioned it. And I was like, you know what? Every time I go for the full moon ceremony or a burning bowl ceremony or any kind of ritual where I'm supposed to get rid of everything or anything, something that's tripping me up, my obstacle, or as you so interestingly pointed out, the parasite. You referenced a parasite, a little ladybug getting stuck on this parasite, and you said, so, we got to think about what are our parasites? What are keeping us stuck where we don't want to be? So, and we not only do we not want to be there, it's not good for us or for anybody else. So that brings me back to the burning bowl and the different rituals and the full moon ceremony and getting rid of everything. Every single time, and honestly, I cannot think of a time that I have, and I can't tell you how many ceremonies and rituals I've been to about getting rid of these parasites. It's always the same parasite, which is judgment. And if it just resonated with me with the importance of recognizing that judgment sets off this whole stream of insanity. I think it was a couple of weeks ago that you mentioned, and I probably mentioned it again last week, about, or maybe I didn't, but Ben saying if there's no judgment, then we don't have problems. I mean, judgment is everything. And I forget exactly what he said, but that actually went into me. Lisa, why are you going to these rituals and these ceremonies and writing down judgment, 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 and coming back the next month, judgment, the next year, judgment, whatever it is, judgment. And like, what are you doing about it? What are you doing about it? So I thought about this little ladybug and the parasite. And so I could give everyone a laundry list of the parasites. Unlike the ladybug who has this particular parasite, I have a lot of parasites. And if I can write down 1,000,000 times judgment and spirit help me with judgment and all that. But if I don't go to the base and find out what that parasite is, and that's what really nailed me was when you said, what is our parasite? And my parasite is judgment. And I just, without community, without my brothers and sisters, I am not whole. I'm just not. I think you gave a beautiful quote by Hildegard of Bingen, and she said something like, I had just scribbled notes. We cannot live on earth alone. It was something like that. We cannot live on earth alone, or we are not going through this journey alone. We are all, and you said beautifully in your opening prayer, how we are all sending out peace, or if we're not sending out peace, you didn't say this, but I'm thinking it, if we're not sending out peace, we're sending out something that isn't peace, and that's not good. So the thing that really just was so strong is, what am I going to do to actually define? Now, I know that judgment is my parasite, but if I were to draw a picture of judgment, this parasite would have millions of legs, because judgment comes in so many forms, and it can come so easily without even realizing how judgmental and negative it is, and what it actually puts out there. And so I am so grateful for A Course in Miracles, and that's really what the light bulb was that with the lessons that we have, we can truly work through our parasites, because Jesus has such a beautiful way of saying the same thing over and over again. And basically, to me, it's perception, judgment, the same thing, but coming at me in such different ways that I am able to define specific things in these lessons that I know intellectually when I read it, that, yeah, that's judgment, or that's a misperception, or I need to see peace instead of this. But with the lessons, there's always something specific speaking to me to clarify and give me my practice to get rid of these parasites. And believe, it's been several years that I've been doing this, over and over again. And this is the truth. This is the first time this all came to me, which seems kind of silly, because this is not a beginner's introduction to A Course in Miracles. This is a group of people who are familiar with it. Not that we don't welcome new people, of course we do, definitely. But I would like to think that in the 6 or 7 years that I've been doing this, that this wouldn't be such a shocker, that the lessons can, if I do them, can clarify so much and make me aware of these parasites. Now, had I not been a part of the class for chapter 19, where you spoke about the ladybug and the parasites, I would not have had this revelation about the lessons. So it sounds kind of opaque maybe, but it really isn't. It was so, my heart, my spirit, my mind, in the Course it says, grace is not given to the body. It's all about the mind. When we talk about healing and all of that, we're not talking about broken legs and things like that. We're talking about healing the mind, healing the perception, healing, being vessels of love. And so it just, through grace, all this stuff came to me, and it just kind of sealed my next steps in how I want to, or how I will or won't see the Course. it's a beautiful, deeper, we get together to dig deeper and unpack. And that's exactly what I do each week. I do. And as I speak, I don't have a sheet here that I'm reading from, or a teleprompter or anything. And so it's how I truly feel about the class and the things that came to me and the things that come to me as I'm speaking now. So the obstacles to peace, to me, if I could sum it up, it would be isolating myself, seeing myself as special, and not that I'm not special, because I am special, but we've talked about special and special, or grandiose and grandiosity and so forth, but that I am an essential part of the whole, the truth, and that anything that I do in love spreads lovingly. Anything I do that is not in love is seeking love, and it's usually something that I do to myself that I'm then project onto someone else. So I am part of this amazing community, an essential part, a co-creator with this beautiful community. And that's something that I just feel far deeper than I ever did. And I am not, this is my commitment, this is my lesson that I'm giving myself. I am not going to have judgment on my next burning bowl or my next full moon ceremony. It is going to be a specific leg of that judgment parasite. I'm not getting away with just judgment anymore. It's not working. So I need to continue to dig deeper. So there.
You know, thank you. Thank you so much for that, because what you are saying is so essential to moving into a deeper level of understanding of our own selves. Because when we do rituals, sometimes I think, you know, if you want to think of like the evolution of a ritual or the evolution of ourselves, right? We do a ritual because we think, here, somebody else take this away from me, you know, judgment, here, who are we taking it to? Who's taking it, you know? But it's really for the heightening of our awareness. And then what are we going to do about it? You know, when we do the ritual on the beach, for example, last night, I told a story that that helped me understand more deeply the importance of the follow through of anything that we come to understand, because you can come to understand something on an intellectual level. And, you know, it's funny because you started the thing by saying, oh, chapter 19 is intense, you know, like they're all intense. And I'm thinking, you know, every time I teach a lesson, I'm like, this is such a good lesson, you know, and it's like one of my favorite lessons, you know, and then I get to the next one and I'm like, this is such a good lesson. And it's because wherever we are, that's where we are, that's where we need to be. And that's where we get those ahas, you know, we get those ahas. So I was telling the story last night about Ernesto, who, you know, my dog. He's a rescue. And when I got him, he was maybe 6 or 7 years old. He was very scarred. He was very damaged, you know. So I don't know his life. I just know he has some peculiar behaviors. And one is that when I'm walking him, he sometimes will stop and stiffen up. It's not that he wants to go left or right. It's not that he wants to redirect. He just stiffens up. He just stops. And I used to just try and pull him. I'd be like, come on, let's go. You know, I would just like pull him. And he's little, so his little harness would start falling off, but he wouldn't move. Like a 2-year-old, you know, like when they stiffen up, you know, they might be 14 pounds, but you can't move them. So I said, well, I need to research this and find out what's going on with him, you know. So I did some research and I found out that some dogs stiffen up when they're scared, and they don't, it's almost like they freeze, kind of like us, you know, fight, flight, or freeze, you know, they freeze. And so the freezing is in reaction to something. So now when I'm walking him and he freezes, I stop and I listen. And I can hear the most unusual things. Like I might hear the sound of an air conditioner coming on in someone's house. or I might hear like a back porch door opening. And then I'll look at him and I say, oh, okay, I hear what you hear. And it's okay, I got your back. You're safe. Let's go.
Aww.
But what I realized was, I was making the correlation last night when I talked about that, is that that's how deeply we have to hear what's going on within ourselves.
Yeah.
So when you were saying judgment, here, let me write it down and burn the bowl, and somebody's going to come and take it away, you haven't really identified the source of your judgment.
Exactly.
And that's what spiritual practice is all about. It's about listening deeper and deeper and deeper until we have those ahas, like, oh, now I know what I'm judging. And then go even deeper in the evolution of your understanding is, oh, now I know why I'm judging, and then you can take it even deeper to say, do I truly want to release this? And who will I be without it? Will I feel more vulnerable without the judgment, because it's helping
So
me
true.
feel. Yeah. So, my little guru Ernesto took me to that level of understanding, to be able to hear so clearly things that I never heard before. I could walk my neighborhood. I was going to say walk the streets, but that doesn't sound good. I can walk my neighborhood and not hear anything. And now I'm hearing, I'm hearing those doors and even dogs, like slightly barking in somebody else's house, and he'll stop because he gets scared because he hears it. And now I hear it too, And so the point being that the obstacles to peace are usually those things that we're not taking time to listen to more deeply, so that we can have a level of understanding, because you can't just rip the caterpillar off the parasite, because you'll kill it. The story of the parasite was that the woman who saved the ladybug, she pried the little legs, she worked with it. It took some time before she could gently remove the ladybug from the parasite. And that's just like us trying to remove those obstacles to peace. Well, it's not like driving down the street and you see a Bob's barricade, those Bob's barricades, they're Bob's for some reason. And, or you see cones, you don't just run them over, you go around them, and then you think, oh, I wonder why there's a barricade, It's like our obstacles to peace. We're trying to just mow them down and, give them up to some disembodied spirit that's going to take them away from us. But really, this path is all about heightened awareness, heightened introspection. I came up with a formula last night.
Oh, cool.
Let me think if I can recreate it. I saw this word on the internet, or maybe in a meme or something, that said kind sight. And it said, instead of, slapping yourself and say, why did I do that? Be gentle and say, what can I learn? What can I learn from what just occurred? So instead of beating ourselves up or mentally beating somebody else up for either our behavior or their behavior, blaming them, instead using kind sight. So this is my formula. Kind sight replaces harsh insight in order to gain compassionate insight. Wait, did I say that right? Kind sight replaces harsh hindsight in order to create compassionate insight. So it's kind of like what we were saying once before about outraged versus engaged. So we use kind sight to be able to look back over our lives. Why have I been so judgmental? Instead of, why have I been, there's a way of saying it that's different. It's gentler, it's kinder. And with kindness, then we can open up more readily to the truth that's below our obstacles to peace. So we use kind sight instead of harsh hindsight. I look back and I'm harsh and I'm hard on myself, or I'm hard on that person, that other person from my past, and I'm holding on to their mistakes to feel better about myself, as opposed to using compassionate insight. And so with compassionate insight, I can share that. I can share that with myself and with whoever else, whoever I'm judging, whoever I've had holding a grudge or a resentment. And so, as you were saying, now that you've been able to, like judgment was the chapter heading, but now you're getting to the story, and now you can easily remove those parasitic, insidious, attachments and start moving them gently. I heard something the other day on the radio. I wrote it down. It said, we steer towards where we stare. So, think about when you're driving, you're steering toward what you're staring at. You're looking at the road and you're steering in that direction. And I thought, wow, that's so profound, because we have to recognize, where are we putting our mind? If I'm staring at my judgment, if I'm staring at my upsets, then I'm just going to continue steering in that direction. I'm not going to make any movement. We steer toward what we stare. So if we replace all that, those recurring memories that give us that harshness of our hearts, and replace it with compassion, then we can do the ritual in a way that says, oh, this is real now. I'm not just tossing something to the wind. I'm truly making a commitment to making a shift and to making a change.
Yeah.
And I found a quote by Ken Wapnick, and this is kind of funny, because it's from an article called The Real Alternative. And I thought, well, I'm just going to underline what I want to say, but I ended up underlining the whole thing. So,
of course.
Because, it's Ken. So
I know.
I'm going to read it. I do believe this is very much in line with what you were saying. He says, whatever you react to means whatever you're giving power to, means whatever you determine can enhance your peace or take it away, can make you feel loved or make you feel unloved. Anything you give power to will affect you and tells you what you are perceiving. The inner condition is your decision to choose either the ego or the Holy Spirit, and that's all you do. If you feel despair, hopeless, it's because you've chosen the wrong teacher. It's not a sin, because it doesn't change heaven. It doesn't change who you are. It will make you unhappy. Within the dream, it gives you either a good experience or a bad experience. Outside the dream, it has no effect.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I love that guy.
I know. So what he's saying is that whatever we do, whatever we're focusing on, whatever we're steering toward, that's really up to us. And sometimes it's difficult because it's so deeply embedded. Sometimes our emotional reactivity, our deeply held wounds. Last night under the moon, it was the healing of the healing of the wounded healer. We talked about how deeply can we go to deal and heal. And I came up with another formula, which I don't know why. This is my year of using poetry or using rhythmic things. But in order to heal it, we have to deal with it, feel it, surrender it, and that's when the healing occurs. Like we have to really see. We have to really be willing to feel it, deal with it, surrender it, and then heal it. And so we can do rituals to be in community, to feel connected. But the real work is what he's saying, choose your teacher wisely.
Yeah.
Choose your teacher wisely and stick to that teacher. We're going to fall off the path every now and then and play games with the ego. That's the dream. That's our dream life, But our true world, the world that is not affected by anything we do, is the world beyond this, where our minds are joined, the place where we're not human, just human. We are divine. When we have that prayer that we say with each other, you and I, during our spiritual co-counseling spiritual direction, where we say, I see you as more than human. I see you as divine. And when we see each other that way and we see ourselves that way, then we truly can rise higher. And we can forgive more steadily and love more readily. So thank you for bringing this to our attention again, to follow up, and we will all be more conscientious of our obstacles to peace and be more authentically dedicated to working gently through them with compassionate insight. So thank you so much, Goddi Lisa.
Thank you. And before I sign us off with a prayer, I just want to say thank you for picking up where I kind of left off or was going, with the intention and intensity that is needed to get the legs off the parasite or whatever it is, and to move ahead. Because I think sometimes, and you said this too, intellectually we can read things. I said I write judgment on my paper every time. So in between the writing the judgment and reading things, I'm an earthling running into tables that technically aren't there or actually are there, but not real. So it's a lot of work, but it's a joyful journey. It can be painful, but there's always light. The light always comes through. And was it Rumi who said, how will I ever become polished if I'm annoyed by every rub?
That's
something
exactly right.
It was something close to that.
That was it. Yes.
Thank you very much for just saying the things that you said. So, and now I would like to end with a prayer from lesson 242. And it says, "And so we give today to you. We come with holy, open minds. We do not ask for anything that we may think we want. Give us what you would have received by us. Give us what you would have received by us." It's beautiful. "You know all our desires and our wants, and you will give us everything we need in helping us to find the way to you." I love that.
Amen to that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great way to send us off into our minds and into our hearts. God bless you.
You too.
Bye. See you next week.
Bye-bye.